I cannot find your, I cannot find your
Yeah,
Zoom.
don't worry about it.
I mean, I've looked everywhere.
Yeah.
It's just weird. Is anybody else having issues where it seems like your computer devices are just not working appropriately? Like
Mercury retrograde.
is that what,
We've been in Mercury retrograde, so
is that what it, I mean, I hear that, but
Yeah.
I don't quite understand all that stuff, but that is just, it's just been infuriating to tell you the truth. So, Gustavo,
It's all the solar flares.
what was that?
It's
Alberto?
all the solar flares.
Solar
that we're
flares?
getting. Yeah, there was a big explosion in the biggest storm in the sun, and that affects all the telecommunications. And we just got the wave in the last couple of weeks.
Wow. It's been that, then maybe that's what it is. It's been a nightmare. Okay, well, let's blame it on the solar flares. That sounds like a plan. And Mercury retrograde. Okay, Gustavo. So what do you got for us? We've been waiting to see your virtual reality that you're putting together for the symposium. And then David, I need you, Dan, I need you to show really quick afterwards what you would be, offering at the, and same thing with Grant, if you've got it done, what you would be offering on October 23rd to the attendees, so everyone can see a sample of what I'm looking at, so that we can make sure we're in compliance with what the event organizers are looking at. So that's the order. Okay, so Gustavo, can you share with us what you have to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I'm also having issue with my computer lastly.
Of course you are.
And it's still a ongoing work. I hope for Sunday to have all the renders already made. I already have one right now, and but I want to show you what's the idea and what I want to present. So we're gonna do a kind of a flight around the 3D model of the whole eco village that we already have designed, and at the end. So let me show you. See, meanwhile, if you let me share my screen.
I did. I gave you sharing.
Okay, there it is. So the idea is going to be to have something like that. So we are going to fly on this kind of drawing or model, and when we stop in the scene, the idea is to have something like this. Okay.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah. And this obviously this is just to show you, but these images have to have some retouches, but at the end it's gonna look very, very realistic. So the idea is what we are gonna do right now is the idea is that one, have this kind of flight and then go to the real thing. However, I'm going to show you, I want to give you the animation right now with no rendering, but just to show you the model, the full model with everything we have already. Okay. So let's start here. So this is the entrance of the eco village.
Now, is this overlaid actually on Gwendolyn's property? Is this actually, so
correct?
It's topographically correct? Is it
correct? Correct. Yeah. Well, as much as I can with the data I have. Okay. We need a detail engineering because, but for that I need a detailed topographic map, which I don't have.
Okay.
So, but yes, with the information we have, this is Gwendolyn's property. Okay. This is where we see right now is the entering. If you see here, and we have the entrance. This is a pond, which is here. This is the community center. These are on the right of, can you see my cursor, right?
Yeah.
My mouse. Okay. Here is those are the parking lots with the solar panels on top as a roof. So which the utility for this is you have the roof for the cars, and also you have the solar panels. And here in the background, you can see one of the dome, which is still in construction. That's the idea to show how we use the ground screws to locate the domes on the hill.
Okay. And now, will you be able to show in this, like a layover so that you can show this is the ground screws, then we put the ground screws and then we have the foundation, then we put, will you be able to lay over or will it be just a finished model?
We can do that. I can do that. I can do that. After I finish this animation with the renders that I already mentioned in the beginning, I can do that. That's something I can do for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
We have another 3D model with a step-by-step of how to build too.
I have that one. I can show those pictures too. I don't have it in this computer, but I can find it.
Keep rolling through the landscape
Yeah.
here.
Yes, Grant, if you can send it to me in Signal, in the meanwhile I'm presenting this, I can pull it out in this computer and show it to them.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so this is the first thing we can see. We're going to see more in detail in the animation, but I want to describe what is all of what you are seeing right now. In the right here, this is the laundry and the public restroom for the cabin area, which you are going to see in a minute. So let's go. If you have any questions, just go ahead, okay? Okay. This is the community center. This is the kitchen and the dining area. This is gonna be closed with glasses, okay?
That whole side is gonna be closed or it's just gonna be enclosed on one side?
It's enclosed, no, it's gonna be enclosed the full thing, but these two sides, as you can see here, you have two walls, and then you're gonna have these two, sorry here.
It's okay, but I understand. But will those have glass in them or are they gonna be open?
No, it's gonna be glass.
Okay, so it's gonna look similar to that front entry like that.
Exactly, like that. Those
Okay.
two are gonna be glass.
Okay,
We want to preserve the view because the view is really good from this vantage.
Exactly. In here, I'm still working on it, but it's gonna be a lunch area with some sofas and cushions on the floor and etc. So people can hang out here and read a book and watch a movie or make a video or a workshop or whatever. Okay.
Hey, Gustavo,
Yes.
could you do like earthen seating? Could you like dig into that ground and make like a miniature amphitheater to kind of like sit around in, or can you do earthen seats in there?
You can for sure. Yes. Because this is not going to have, because it have the ground screws, as you can see here. This is the whole ground, so you can put any flooring you want. You can leave it like that, or you can put any earthen floor or whatever. So yeah, for sure you can.
Cool. It looks
Yeah.
great.
looks good, yeah.
Well, the
What
building
about some of-
like,
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. This is the view from there. You can see the houses and the cabins. What we are seeing here are the cabins area. This is the hanging area for the cabins. These are
Would
the
you call it
houses.
a what area?
Is for the cabins area for Airbnbs and etc.
Oh, for the rentals, okay.
Yeah, the rentals. We're gonna have some view of this more in detail, but I'm describing what you're seeing right now.
Mhm.
You can see here on the far away you can see this is the pond that we're gonna have with the dam. We can see houses with greenhouses attached for energy efficiency. We're gonna have a detail of that, and the crops. You can see the crops here, and these trees, since they appear like that, they are gonna be realistic in the rendering. This is the food forest.
Grant, you have a budget on this?
Yeah, we've talked about it previously. I can report it to you again.
No, I got that, but I mean, with this new, any updates, it's the same budget that we have for this 11 acres.
One
We can-
update. Sorry, go ahead, Gustavo.
No, go ahead, Ran.
I was going to say one positive update is with ground screws, we can cut down on excavation cost. So we can build it onto the hill with a platform. So we've developed that as a way to save money on excavation since excavation cost was so high when Gwendolyn got it quoted before.
Okay,
We can update that.
okay.
Okay, so we have the crops, we have the houses. This is the playground for the kids. Oh, everything in natural materials. we can see here a little bit is everything is in wood and rocks, and that's the idea, is the kids are in touch with nature, are not all the plastic things that are around. These are the parking lot with the sun panel, the solar panels, and more view of the houses, cars, where you can park the cars, view of the crops. This is the lake and with the dam.
It looks pretty good. Is there, let's move, is there anything else? Do we need, I guess, just maybe a couple more seconds and then a few more?
Can you show that one realistic render, Gustavo, from far away?
Yes, it's gonna be pretty quick. I'm gonna go real quick in the.
So that's the greenhouse. They have a greenhouse that's attached to,
A ground house. This is a
Yeah.
view of the houses
Here's the
inside,
interior we designed.
distribution. Sorry, was here. Okay. This is the laundry room and the restroom area, public restroom for the cabins.
Mm.
This is a system of biogas and gray water treatment.
that's what I
For-
want to see. That's what I want to see. Okay, so that's your biogas and then you have the is that a water gen and
This is a gray water
treatment for
gray
irrigation.
water treatment system for irrigation.
Yeah.
This
Okay.
system is gonna be in the houses as well.
okay.
Is gonna take all the laundry water and the house water, and I use it for irrigation.
And Grant, is it more cost effective to put one processor per house, or is it better, is it more cost effective to add one processor and make a bigger processor for 4 or 5 houses together? Does it make a difference or no?
Yeah, I think you can save a little bit of money with that. We'll have to get a quote on the larger one from Home Biogas, but they have very large ones up to a full scale farm operation. One-
But you have to then take it from one place to the next, or do they run it through a hose of some sort, or what is it?
Yeah, it
So
runs
then-
through hoses. It might affect our design of the houses to how close we have to be to that digester,
Uh-huh,
but it seems doable. We could get a quote on that too.
okay.
This
What-
is a top view of the whole design. We have the houses, the crops, the land, the food forest, and solar panels, the community area, playground, cabins. And that's it. That's it.
Looks
That's
so
the-
good, looks
That will be the
good.
final model, and the end is gonna have the realistic view as I show in the beginning. It's gonna be, all of the scene is gonna be like that. It's gonna be fade from the drawing to the real world in
Yeah.
this way.
Okay,
So that's the idea.
okay, looks good. Anybody have any quick questions, or shall we move to Grant?
I do, yeah, I have a quick question.
Yes.
First of all, amazing work, beautiful, gorgeous, want to live there. And in fact, want to do something similar in the Pacific Northwest where I am. Are you able to share what the budget is, just for me to have an idea if I were to replicate something, what we're looking at? Is that
Yeah,
something-
Grant,
Okay.
I would like, and sorry, I interrupt, but I would like for us to sit down, Grant, and review this, so we don't set some false expectations right now.
Yeah.
With the final model already in place. So I would like to sit with Grant and probably review the budget, and then we can give you some real numbers.
Okay,
Yeah, the
Fair
goal would be under or around 200,000 was what we came up with previously. But with this model, there's some things that we added. It might be a little higher, but we'll see what happens. It's
Okay.
flexible. And if you had a budget, we could work within it, of course, with our design.
Barry, and I would like your advice or your knowledge in the building of the dam, with the size and etc. And how much do you think it could be cost for us to build it? Because we would like to have a more realistic approach on thinking. We have some idea, but with your experience, I think is invaluable in this case.
Okay, we can have a conversation afterwards. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
So
let's see,
I have,
guys.
Yeah.
I have two things. First of all, amazing, blows me away. It's so beautiful. One thing is, have you budgeted at all for dead wood removal and terracing?
I don't remember if that was included in the budget, but we have
Okay.
so much to address. We probably just redress the whole budget. Would be
Or
smart.
just how do we plan to deal with that? Do we want to have earth movers? Do we want to have human power? Do we want to, buy an earth mover and sell it when we're done? Like how we want to handle all that. And then,
One thing I did want to say to that is with the gardening technique, it's called back to Eden gardening. You need 4 inches of wood chips it holds moisture and it saves on water usage. So all that dead wood we wanted to reuse in the garden.
Oh, that would be awesome. My friend is a stump grinder too.
Okay.
So
You
he
did it
he would love to be part of this. He's been
Mhm.
out to the land and he's very excited. So that would be great. I'll get him involved for sure.
All right.
Oh, that's awesome. That's such a great idea. I'm such good news, Grant, that
Mhm.
wood doesn't have to be hauled up that hill. Because it
Yeah,
also,
exactly.
I think if we could even make small terraces by hand, it's a very steep hillside and earth movers have flipped before
Right.
on it. Then the other observation I have is that it looks to me, and I may be wrong, but the incline of the land has always been a challenge for getting solar power to work, because even in the winter, the sun goes so low above the dead wood above us on the hill, because we're
Mhm.
kind of an armchair, property. But it almost looks like the houses themselves would shade the solar panels where they're located right now. I would put them to the southern face of those rather than the northern face of the individual homes. That would be my only other comment, but it looks gorgeous and beautiful. Of course, I would like
No,
to see.
they're in the south. They're in the south.
Oh,
They're
okay.
in the southern. Let me
They
show
look
you
like they were
again.
downhill. They look like they were downhill to me. So, which is
No,
the
no.
north.
Let me show you again. So that
Oh, good.
I think it's important to clarify this. No,
Okay.
they are completely in the. If you can see here, give me a sec.
And
give
I
me a
can't
sec.
believe how you guys know my place. Oh my gosh, this is amazing.
I feel like I've been there a few
Okay,
times.
sorry. Okay, if you can see here, where the solar panels are is the south.
So
This-
you're not
this is-
sharing though. Your
this is
screen
the-
isn't being shared.
I'm not.
No.
Not? Oh, sorry. Wait. This one share. What about now?
Now, good.
Okay. If you can see here, Gwendolyn, this is the hill.
Okay.
In fact, this house here is in the cement slab you already have.
Okay.
This one, and this is the top of the mountain. You go downhill here. You have the dam, and then you have the other hill in front of it. So this is the south part, the southern part.
Correct.
And houses are in the southern part as well.
Right.
So they're in the top of the hill. So they're going to take advantage of
Right.
the whole sun.
And the
Okay,
panels
guys,
are on the
we're
southern
gonna have
aspect
to
of
move,
those
we
homes.
need to move on.
Okay, we'll talk later.
We'll talk about this in a minute. We'll make another meeting for the community development. So that's what brings me to what I wanted to discuss is that we have really, the project is the website, the project of local sparks and regenerative is this. First of all, development, community developments like this. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing is technologies that can help everyone currently right now, not just if you want to be off grid, but currently, and that's Dan Rubido's specialty is, and I like how David and Grant said it the other day, or Grant said it, is self-sustainability, is that it's not just emergency prepared, but being stabilized in how you can sustain yourself. And then Dan, in a minute, I'm going to have you show if you have, and then Grant, do you have any updates on the actual technology, or do you have anything were you able to share something with us? Did you get it done in time? I mean, I know I was late getting it over to you and we were trying to get you into the website. Do you have anything?
All right, we talked about it an hour ago and I had 3 calls while I was driving since then. So I'll work on it immediately and send it to you.
Okay, Dan's probably got something.
Yeah.
But what would you say if you were, like, I've already introduced everything to just say we're up on stage and I say, and here is Grant from Abundance Building Concepts. And, this is some of the things that if you come to our booth, you can hear about. Now, what's 1 minute that you would say to the group that brings people into our booth? What is, and you know, what give us an example of, you know, and it needs to be a little bit detailed so that they get into the booth, and then you can talk as long as you want once they get in the booth, but just what's 30 seconds? What would you say?
Are you addressing me or Dan?
No, you.
So I would say, I'd say Regenerative, so we're not talking about other brands right now. Regenerative is on a mission to create self-sustainable communities where each home has all of its energies and utilities self-contained, and this can create abundance for all people. Something along those lines. That would be, I think, just a catchy little intro. I'm sure they'd want to have more questions after that.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I think it's, yeah, I wouldn't need you to be a little bit more detailed on the stage. Okay, Dan, do you have something?
If that might help.
Yeah,
I haven't memorized it yet.
okay, it's okay. Dan, do you have something that you can show us? And I gave screen sharing, so if you want to share your screen, or what would you say?
I'm in the same boat he was in. I just received it, and my son was using the computer to do homework because he was homesick today. So I have it prepared, though. Basically, what I'm going to have is the table of contents on preparedness that we can show on a tablet or on a computer at our actual booth. It has 26 chapters. So what I want to do is to explain just what he was talking about, sustainability as a community. Also, that we are determined to assist and train people so that they can be self-sustainability and different skills, so they're less reliant on other people and society, that they can take on and, you know, focus on the areas that have interest them. Some people it'll be herbal gardens, some people it'll be different things, but we have that ability to share with them and to train them on it. And in the chapters right now, I have over 300 pages that have already been completed with graphic work that you've seen.
Okay, yeah,
And-
so what I would like you to do is, and I told him this earlier, but let me make sure, and this is for everybody on the call, so this is why I'm telling you this, is what I would like you to do is present something that's very quick, that you could, that's brings
Right.
people to the booth, right? So it's got to be regenerative or local sparks related, so it's not your personal, like Barry, I wouldn't have you talking about STEM cell technology. What I would have you talking about is something else that would bring people to the booth because they want to be part of regenerative. And then once they get into the booth, we'll have opportunity to talk about other products. But at the beginning, all I got from the stage, we can only talk about really specific things. And then when a one pager that you will have, if you have a one pager, which so he would bring forward a one pager that they can take away, that this is your 26 chapters
Yes.
content, and that's it, just the context, you know, the chapter headings. And then when they sign up and give an email, then we'll send them the first chapter to the email. And then in order to get the rest of the information, what we want them to do is come to our training classes, and there would be a fee for that. So what we're trying to do is generate fees and revenue so that we can build these type of communities. So it's a step process to get people, and we're giving away a little bit and they're getting a lot for it, but we're using that funds to build these communities. Is there
Yeah.
any questions,
I have a
concerns?
Are you going to be accepting donations at this event?
Yes,
Cool, cool.
a lot. And I'm going to have t-shirts printed up basically that say, that are going to say, you know, regenerative local sparks, and then problem solved. It's just going to say, and do you think if I put power of the people, that seems to be too, yeah, David,
1970.
to 1970?
Yeah,
I am
problem
kind of a
solved.
hippie. I don't know, just kind of like, because the power is of this regenerative power, which is sustainable power. But that's how come I thought of power, not like, you
It's
know,
true.
power of the
I
people.
thought
I just don't think the
I
words
thought
are
you
as
can
fresh as they could be.
I can't hear you.
The words need to be more fresh. and
Yeah,
Current. Yeah.
I think it's more like unleash your inner power. Unleash
alternative.
unleash your inner power.
Unleash the inner
Unleash.
power.
Unleash your inner power.
That's good.
What about unleash green power? Well, green power makes it sound like, well, right now the shirts just say, that's what I have right now on the logo, and on the logo, it just says, regenerative. There's 2 handshakes right there. So it's a cohesive group. And it says underneath local sparks, problems solved. It's real
I
basic.
like it. I
you
think
know,
that's good.
And
It's
so I'm going to
fresh.
have t-shirts for us all to wear, and we'll be selling those as well. And then I'm also offering sponsorships between, they'll be having, you know, we're going to, and I haven't decided if we're going to name them, like they say gold, platinum, and silver or whatever. We're going to name them something different. Does anybody have any ideas? What would you like to name the sponsorships? Does anybody have anything that they'd like to discuss on that?
We have a subscription package in our plan that has names like World Changer, and it's just things like you actually what you're doing, like you're supporting this. So you could have like supporter, you know, team player, World Changer, whatever kind of thing you think of.
Okay, well, did you send that to me, the support package?
I like
The
that line of thinking.
sponsor?
That's good.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah,
Word
Yeah.
solutionary,
That's cool. I like that a
solutionary.
lot.
Yeah,
change maker.
Yeah, change maker, that kind of stuff. Yeah.
I do have one question about what was shown earlier. On the dam, are we looking at hydroelectric as one of the sources of power that we can generate? Or are we only
Barry
looking at
needs,
solar?
Barry needs to answer that a little bit, I think, until he sees, I don't know that we know that until he can look at the,
It's to keep the dam out of state regulations, at least. It has to be under a certain size and probably wouldn't have the depth of water to create much power, but there are generators, hydro generators that you put in the water pipes.
I've seen
So you might be able to generate a little bit, but I wouldn't count on a lot. And
Okay.
that's, you know, I have a general knowledge of that, but not
You can get
detailed. So
something that wouldn't violate any laws, that would contribute to about the equivalent of 300 watts, maybe 600 watts. That would be enough to run a couple of things, but
Yeah.
yeah, it can't be too big.
okay.
Yeah,
So
I
Gustavo,
think-
you got something up here. We got 10 minutes. I need to finish on the website and what the
Yeah.
mission is.
Okay, now really quick, you asked for if we have some images showing the process. So we
Mhm.
have the Hoverman here collapsed, then we expanded, then we put the parts, the doors and the windows, then we put the mesh, the basalt mesh, and we spray it with the concrete. And,
Perfect.
And this is what we have at the end.
Perfect.
Yeah, that's our patent pending process that we're trying to prototype, and this will be the first place we could show it off.
That is
Perfect.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is totally
So
wonderful.
fun, so fun. Okay,
Okay.
so let's move through the rep. So these are the things that we have that we're focusing on. First is development, community development. Second would be we could build these type of technologies that we just saw that Gustavo just put up, that you could have this in a community, or you could actually put this in your backyard and you could develop it for a rental property. So, or you could put a biogas generator in your backyard and a water generator in your backyard so you could be sustainable. And so these technologies are available. They're less than $1,000. You know, and I also have another person that's sending us over what there, it's an ionic, and I talked to Grant about this the other day, but it's an ionic. It's about this size, about the size, you know, this size, and it sits in a room, and if all the doors are open, 1,500 square feet would be ionized so that any virus, mold, or bacteria would be destroyed. Not that you would want to destroy everything, but in big settings, you may want to, just to keep, you know, big gatherings safe. And then they're using it right now in churches and gyms. And so they're going to send that to us. It's going to be there, and we're going to have the ability to showcase that right there. So if there's things that people want to bring, these are the type of things. So those are the technologies. The third thing would be activism. We are not looking to fight anything out, but the apathy is not an option any longer. And I guess it still is, but activism, you know, it's a participation sport, and it's time for us to come together and everybody do their part, play their role, and let's get together and make a difference. So it's kind of a positive spin. Third would be education, educating, helping with certifications. I'm speaking on a stage this next week, or actually this weekend on Saturday, with a veterans group. So we're speaking about those certification programs that we're offering. So that's the fourth thing. And then the fifth thing on this website is, you know, election security. I don't know, just like, I feel like I got punched in the gut if anybody claims that there's been anything fraudulent happening. And I'm not trying to be political, and we cannot, I mean, we can be political with local sparks, we can't with regenerative, but I just want to make sure that there isn't any more claims that that's happening. So I just want election security and have that ability so that we all know that that's not happening or making any more claims. Is there any problems with those 5? Oh, and the sixth thing, sorry. The sixth thing is that if you have a solution and you want to have it vetted and brought forward, then you would go through the process that Grant and I and others have gone through to have your company evaluated, get a score, and then we can get in front of crowdfunding and sourcing to get funds. So those are really only the 6 things that we want. They're in that order. And is that too much? Is that enough? And any comments?
I got lost on election security.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, it's just that there's a portion of, we are fighting against bureaucracy, and if our leaders are constantly quashing because they're being elected and they're making a claim, there's a claim, you know, there's claims that there's election fraud. I just want to see that our officials are truly voted, that there isn't any more claims with fraud in election. It makes me sick to my stomach to think that that's even a viable, that's even an option. So part of this is that we're willing to get together and support that. Maybe I should move that to the very end or just take
Yeah,
it off the
what
website.
does it have to do
phrase
with
it.
building a permaculture operation?
Yeah.
So we know that there's huge fraud going on in a number of areas, and there should be far greater support for the efforts that we all are making. And money is streaming by the trillions into banks that they are controlling and not coming down to us. If that's what you mean,
Yes.
then
I have an idea.
we can spin that to our benefit somehow, but I
Yes.
would keep it like number 6, maybe.
Yeah, and that's
Here's-
exactly what it is that we're fighting against something possibly, it seems like, that is only padding the pockets of, because like, you know, $1.6 trillion left the middle class, and 57% of the wealthiest billionaires got wealthier through the pandemic, and that's through our leadership. And
I
I
have an
want to
idea
see,
about how to brand that.
okay,
You could say transparent communication or transparent community communication, something like that.
Yeah,
And you can talk
something
about,
along
and
those lines.
bullet points below that, paper ballots. We want to advocate for that because it's transparent. We want to have nonviolent communication because it helps build better families, like these kind of things like that. So it's one of your core.
right, and verifying, the third thing on the election security would be, to have everything verified through blockchain. So blockchain verifies that would be,
We
and
talked
so that,
before about-
and
sorry.
what my hope would be is that we would be able to get officials and candidates elected from these community groups that are being led by you all, these type of people, and that you could be the elected official in your group. So when we come to you and we go, Barry, we've got this project that we want to get on board, and you know that we've got good hearts, you know we're not all about helping ourselves. It's a lot easier for us to build these communities if our leadership's on board and we don't have to pay to play with them. You know what I mean?
And we had talked previously about universal market access, like it's a cryptocurrency coin for transparent contracts. So that's business and politics. You could apply that. So that could be like a project that we're researching that you could promote. So we're trying to create more transparent contracts. So
just want to
that'll
make
be-
it easier for us to finish our task. That's all I'm trying to do. And
Yeah.
the election security was a way of saying that. I like how you guys put it differently. And so I will, when I'm putting those verbiage in, or if anybody, like I said, Grant and David, you guys have access to the website, you can add that verbiage in there. And so it looks good and it makes sense. Anything else?
all
No?
good.
Braxton, you got anything? We never get to hear from you except for those cute little things that, are you going to be playing the guitar in our booth to bring people over there and in between the set changes and stuff like that?
That could be fun.
My only question is how much you want me to do it?
How much what?
How much do you want me to do it?
As much as possible.
When I bussed in New York City, I was near the subways, so they would get very loud when they got close. But you know, sometimes I would just vamp on a song, and then like when people were like walking up, I'd start layering back in lyrics. So things are really fun. I can play music a long time.
Okay.
If you
You'll
can
bring a
hear
lot of
me,
energy.
I'd like to say something.
Yeah.
on 2 different topics. First of all, I have a solution for the transparency with according to voter fraud that doesn't include electing a ton of honest people. We've got a solution for that one. And there's a couple of other things, but I can talk with you about that, Rosalie.
Okay.
And as far as the 23rd event in Las Vegas, if anybody would like to donate, we will give you tickets. We'll give you as many tickets as you need for whomever you're bringing. If anybody'd like to make a donation. Okay? That's
Good.
it.
All right.
A donation.
Oh, and one other thing, don't use, because of the political connotations, please don't use the word power in your presentations. Thank
What
you.
if it has to do with alternative power, like alternate, like alternative green power?
Energy.
Energy.
Use alternative energy? Sure, alternative livings, yes, to make it sound gentle, not like you're coming forward to take over, or,
Yeah.
you know, bring something terrible to the end. Nothing that smacks of anger, nothing that smacks of fear. Those are the 2 things that the media relies on, fear
Yeah.
and anger.
No, they're going to love our group. They're going to think, wow, okay, well, if this group's there and they're action oriented and loving, you know, like I said, we're going to love this
You're
one
gonna
out.
come across as
Yeah.
saviors on Mount Zion or
Yeah.
angels from heaven. That's how you're gonna come across.
No problem. All right, well, we're going to
Rosalie.
get kicked off. Yeah.
Rosalie, where we can find information that we can share with our contacts about the event, so
Go
we
to
can invite people.
Go to, I'll send a